Hi, David from PDI. This video is about colour and colour consistency within promotional merchandise and some of the things you might want to do to try and avoid it. The video stems from this. I'm covering up the logo. I don't want to embarrass anybody. I was at an exhibition and here are two of the items that were used as giveaways, two of 4 items. And the thing that you should be able to see is that the 2 blues used are slightly different. The other 2 items I can't show you because you would actually see the logo, but of the 4 items, only 1 actually matched the brand. The company, whose revenue you measure in billions of dollars, had spent an awful lot of money on their design, on the creation of the brand, and then I've got a whole load of inconsistency within it. So, why would that occur and what might you want to do? First reason why it might want to occur is because an awful lot of promotional products are bought from a catalogue with standard off-the-shelf colours. So here's the tote bag. The tote bag is described as royal blue. One of the things that you won't know though, unless you ask, and here's the solution, unless you ask, is that royal blue is 286C Pantone reference. From the same manufacturer, here is a notebook, also described as royal blue. However, the Pantone reference for this one is 2145C. They're different colours. Marginal, but they are different colours. So what does that tell you? One thing it does certainly tell you is that you can't trust the colour that you see on screen. I did a completely separate video, link in the show notes, to explain that what's on screen is a colour generated by RGB, red, green, blue, light, whereas when we print, we're printing CMYK or a Pantone reference, and CMYK is a subtractive system, but that's explained in another video. The point being is what's on screen and what you actually get can't be trusted. Samples, if you're buying stock material, the solution is to get a sample and so you can actually see the colour, or ask the supplier what their Pantone reference is. Other reason why it can go wrong is because of the way things are printed. If I print screen or I pad print, sometimes referred to as tampo, then the way I create the colour is what we do is we mix the ink to match a Pantone reference colour. If I print digitally, however, I'm going to print CMYK. I'm going to print the 4 primary colours and allow the eye to create the illusion of the colour I'm aiming for. That does rely on the digital printer, the actual physical printing mechanism itself, being calibrated properly. And it can be different, marginally, but it can be different. The way round it is to give the digital printer the Pantone reference he needs to match to, that if there's any issues of calibration, he knows what he's trying to do. Another reason it can go wrong, even if you've got the Pantone reference and you're printing screen, the difficulty that you can have sometimes is that the colour of the thing you're printing to. Clearly, if there's going to be a difference if you're printing to a white object, the Pantone, versus a black one, because what the black surface underneath will do is darken the whole colour, and that applies to all different colours. So you do need to be a little careful on the base substance that you're using. Final issue of why some things can go wrong, best shown by example. And the reason for this one is that we're getting more and more now in this digital world to be quoted hex numbers. These are the color definitions used by digital, the screens and the systems that you're currently using. Hex is great, defines color, but it doesn't always translate into Pantone. So here's an example. We were asked to print a particular mint green and given the hex number, and when we look it up we see there isn't actually a Pantone reference which applies directly. They're close, I don't know whether you can see that on the screen, but they are close. But what you will see is the lower one, the Pantone reference, has got slightly more red, slightly more green and slightly less blue within it than the hex number. Way around that is, please try and use Pantone references. It's what the printing industry is using, and therefore you're more likely to get what you're after. Hopefully that was useful. If you do have any questions about colour, just drop us an email at inquiries@pdi.co.uk and we'll be more than happy to share our experiences. Thank you.